First at 5, Philip Walter, who is accused of murdering Officer Don Allen, is scheduled to have a bond reduction hearing. When that hearing will take place.
Plus, Albany lost its police chief after a law enforcement training exercise mistake. How the sheriff's department is handling not having a chief.
And how methamphetamine is being seized more in Taylor County than surrounding counties. Abilene's local news starts right now.
From Abilene's first television station, your news in your community. This is KRBC, Abilene's local news at 5.
Good evening, I'm Dane Murray.
I'm Randy Turner. Thank you very much for joining us. A suspect behind bars in connection to the murder of an Abilene police officer is scheduled to have a bond reduction hearing next week. Philip Walter is accused of killing Abilene police officer Don Allen back in August of 2015. He will appear in a Taylor County courtroom next Thursday. His bond is currently set at $600,000. His wife faced a judge last week, got her bond reduced to $75,000 from $600,000. She posted bail and was released from jail. 27-year-old Don Allen was found murdered in his home in Clyde August 31st. The Abilene couple was arrested just days later in connection to his murder. According to an autopsy, Allen died from strangulation.
Es uno de los temas que más divide a los políticos y el país. El matrimonio entre parejas del mismo sexo nunca ha dejado de dar que hablar y hoy fue el tema del día en la Corte Suprema de Justicia, que falló a favor de las parejas gay en todo el país, afirmando la constitucionalidad del matrimonio entre personas homosexuales. La decisión histórica fue celebrada por miles de personas en todo el país. Randy Serrano nos amplía desde Washington. Gracias, Randy. Esta decisión tiene a todos hablando hasta aquí mismo en Abilene. Nuestra Alejandra Briones se presentó hoy en la Corte del Condado de Taylor, donde se llevó a cabo una celebración.
Así es, miembros de la comunidad LGBT se unieron hoy enfrente de la Corte del Condado de Taylor para celebrar el anuncio histórico que hizo la Corte Suprema hoy por la mañana. Todos están aquí bien contentos celebrando porque dicen que nunca pensaron que iban a ver algo como esto pasar en su vida. Aunque todavía no se ha llevado a cabo el primer matrimonio del mismo sexo aquí en el Condado de Taylor, porque están esperando que el fiscal general les dé la luz verde a seguir adelante con esos matrimonios. Y en otros condados del estado de Texas ya se han visto estos primer matrimonios y el día de hoy se ha hecho historia y aquí los miembros de la LGBT están contentos y están esperando esas 3 semanas para continuar con los matrimonios del mismo sexo aquí en Abilene. Reportando en Abilene para Telemundo, Alejandra Briones, regreso contigo, Isaac.
Gracias, Alejandra. Y ahora que el matrimonio entre parejas del mismo sexo ya es legal, una pareja ya hizo el intento de casarse en el condado de Taylor, pero fueron rechazados. La pareja ha estado junta por 14 años y estaba muy emocionada de poder hacerlo finalmente oficial, pero fueron rechazados cuando llegaron a la oficina del secretario del condado.
I was so much disappointed as I was just
Troy y David dicen que no se sintieron decepcionados, ya que es muy común que en Abilene aún no estén muy modernizados. De acuerdo a la oficina del secretario del condado de Taylor, ellos no estarán otorgando licencias del matrimonio a parejas del mismo sexo por las próximas semanas hasta que se les dé luz verde de parte del abogado general de Texas y tengan nuevos formularios de aplicación de matrimonio. Los formularios de este momento solamente tienen una sección para una mujer y un hombre.
Good evening, I'm Dane Murray.
And I'm Randy Turner. Thank you for joining us. A murder trial continues today for a man accused of shooting another in April of 2015. Esteban Carmona is accused of shooting and killing Joel Garcia at a home on the corner of South 4th and Peach. Today, pictures from the scene were showed to jurors.
The suspect reached out to KRBC News to share his side of the story in the form of a letter. KRBC's Shannon Valladolid joins us live from the location of the crime. Shannon, you sat down with Carmona and spoke to him in the Taylor County Jail. What did that letter state?
Jane and Randy, this is the letter that Carmona wrote to us in his very own handwriting, and in it he says that he wants to explain everything that happened right here on Peach Street the day Joel Garcia was shot and killed. So we met up with him at the Taylor County Jail and we asked him what exactly happened right here on April 15, 2015, and he told us everything that took place. Now, when we sat down with him prior to the trial, he admitted to killing Joel Garcia. He claims Garcia raped someone close to him, and that's what prompted him to shoot. Carmona tells me that he was very close with Garcia and they would hang out almost every day. He also admits he was scared prior to shooting Garcia. Did you think about it, or you just did it? Now, Abilene police arrived here on South 14th and Peach Street in April of 2015 and found Carmona holding a gun. He was ordered to drop the weapon and was arrested on the charge of first-degree murder. Now, if Carmona is guilty, he will be facing 99 years behind bars. Now, coming up at 6 and 10 on KRBC, I'll share with you additional details Carmona told us about the shooting. Reporting live in South Abilene, Shannon Valladolid, KRBC News. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Shannon. You can read the full details on the investigation and trial on our website, bigcountryhomepage.com.
Muy buenas tardes a todos y gracias por estar con nosotros aquí en su noticiero Telemundo Abilene. Soy Alejandra Briones. Tenemos nueva información en relación con el asesinato del oficial John Allen. De acuerdo a nuevos documentos, el oficial Allen y dos sospechosos que ahora están tras las rejas se conocieron sobre Craigslist. Un orden de cateo presentado por los Texas Rangers indican que el oficial Allen creó un anuncio bajo los anuncios personales en Craigslist. Los sospechosos respondieron al anuncio y llegaron a un acuerdo en verse con la víctima. La reunión resultó con la muerte del oficial Allen en su vivienda en Clyde el 31 de agosto. Violeta y Philip Walter fueron arrestados con un cargo de asesinato y el caso continúa bajo investigación. La selección del jurado también ha comenzado para un hombre acusado de disparar a un narcotraficante. Roderick Sneed, de 45 años, fue acusado en diciembre con un cargo de asalto agravado por supuestamente perseguir a su narcotraficante en la cuadra 1000 de la calle Orange, disparando una pistola varias veces. De acuerdo a documentos judiciales, Sneed estaba intentando de obtener el dinero de su amigo porque el narcotraficante supuestamente le vendió narcóticos falsos. Dos de las balas le pegaron al narcotraficante, una en el pecho y otra en un lugar desconocido. El juicio de Sneed se llevará a cabo en los próximos días.
Good evening, I'm Dane Murray.
And I'm Randy Turner. Thanks for joining us. 49 people died this past weekend, more than 50 injured in a devastating mass shooting in an Orlando club. The shooting was not the first one this year, but it has definitely shaken and impacted many people all over. And students at McMurray University came together to pray for a change.
KRBC's Anavid Reyes is live at McMurray University with all the details on their vigil. Anavid, the Orlando mass shooting is very devastating. What can you tell us about the vigil that students at McMurray held today?
Dane and Randy, there's been at least 1,000 mass shootings here in the U.S. in the past 3.5 years. And today, students and faculty at McMurray University came together to honor the fallen in the Orlando shooting. Now, all who were moved by the event gathered in silence at the university's chapel to pray and remember the 49 victims whose lives were taken too soon, though it can be recognized that the LGBT community's beliefs are not necessarily the same as those who follow Christianity. The university says that it could never hold any significant weight in a time for change. Waters also expressed that yes, this was a small service and it won't change all of the world's problems, but at least it's a step to being part of the solution. Reporting live in Abilene, Anavid Reyes, KRBC News. Back to you in the studio.
Good evening, I'm Dane Murray.
And I'm Randy Turner. Thank you for joining us. We're going to jump right into the news because residents at Lake Cisco Well, they're being evacuated as the water continues to rise. Some are even being saved from their homes.
Yeah, today the city issued a mandatory evacuation notice for all residents on North Shore Drive as conditions continue to worsen. KRBC's John McMichael live in Cisco gathering information. John, what can you tell us about the flooding conditions right now?
I'm out here in Cisco where the water situation is not great. Recent rains have caused the lake to rise and rise dramatically. Even from yesterday, houses have been swallowed up and the entire north shore of Lake Cisco has been issued an evacuation notice. City officials say that if it continues to get worse, the rest of the lake will also be issued an evacuation notice. Now, the emergency response crews have been going out and rescuing people from the North Shore and getting them away from the rising waters, but the damage is quite extensive. Waters have been going over the spillway and filling up the valley where Cisco Waterworks is located, rendering it inoperable, according to city officials, for the near future. I'm out here in Lake Cisco, and it seems they're not looking so great right now. Reporting in Cisco, I'm John McMichael, KRBC News. Back to y'all.
Well, flood water rushing through Will Hare Park, and many people went to check it out. Some even took the opportunity to try and catch some fish. Some used the classic rod and reel, some used nets, others stuck to their bare hands. Of course, they say the fishing was just for fun. The people we spoke to let the fish go, and they say that the rushing water, combined with today's weather conditions, made for the perfect fishing weather.
For luck, or when it's very warm outside, we go fish.
Will Hare Park currently has barricades for the public safety. And while some people are having fun fishing in the streets, other people are warning about the dangers of the flash flooding. Meteorologist Scott Cook live in studio with the latest information. Scott, what can you tell us about a very scary situation for a family earlier this week?
Well, a family had a horrific experience of getting their car stuck in floodwater on North 12th. The family was trying to get back to their home on Kirkland when the car stalled out due to deep waters. There were no signs warning of the depth of the water, and the women in the car had to restart the vehicle in order to get it to go. The experience was especially scary since the drivers and passengers cannot swim. The car getting stuck is one of many throughout the big country. We'll have a full story on how you can stay safe in floodwaters. That's coming up at 10. Reporting live in studio, I'm Scott Cook, KRBC News.
Welcome back to K-Tab for you. Now, the Swenson Mansion has been around for more than 100 years, but during Halloween, this beautiful home transforms into a spooky home, a home for villains and fairy tales and storybook novels. And here to talk about the Swenson house, I have Marty with me. How are you doing today?
Just fine, thank you.
Now, we kind of took a walk, my producer and I, we took a little walk through the house just to kind of see what it looks like, and you should be able to see that video on your screen just to get a lay of the land. So exactly what is the theme of the home? I did mention villains a little bit, so explain to people what the theme is.
This year's theme, and every year we have a different theme. Instead of Mother Goose, we have Mother Gross, and we are spotlighting the evil people of the bedtime stories. Right. So it's, instead of bedtime stories, it's dead time stories. So you will see your favorite villain here.
Right. And I know as we did walk through, you will see some of the popular ones. We did see, I don't want to give them all away, but there is one, Cinderella's here. And you do have to go, and I had to go back and kind of look up to see the fairy tales and storybooks to see how they actually end, because of course Disney's not going to show those terrible endings. So if you don't know them all, you will kind of have to research them.
Right.
To
These are the original, from the original storybook to stories.
Right.
We have included someone, the trainer of these two men, strong men, might I add. So tell us the moves that you're about to show, just really some of the beginner
Well, we're going to
moves.
show the basic moves of Muay Thai, kickboxing version, what you see in the MMA fitness center at the gyms or whatever. But we improvise that for inside the cage or in a boxing ring or whichever. So we're going to have him as an attacker or as a boxer, an opponent, with his hands up.
Okay.
And you're going to stand just like
here we go.
everybody has. Be sure to always keep your hands up. You don't want to get
Hands
hit.
up.
All right. So what we do, the basic jab, is this one. It's called a number one.
Let me put this away.
Okay.
There we go.
That one's going to be a jab.
Okay.
Okay. That one's going to be a straight hand. It's called a number two. So when you throw that number two, you're going to pivot using all your torque on that. There you go.
Okay.
Okay. So you're going to go 1, 2,
1,
Okay.
2.
Then you're going to hit the inside leg kick. Boom. Right there. Come across with the hook over the top. And keep the
Oh,
other
but
hand.
keep this up.
Yes, keep
That's
your
a
hand-
tough one.
That's a